For the past 3 months, the boys of summer have worn orange and blue, dominating the USL's Eastern Conference and turning Nippert into a fortress. Today, they return home as the regular season winds down and the focus squarely on preparing for the playoffs. A beautiful September Sunday for FC Cincinnati to welcome Toronto FC2 to the banks of the Ohio River and the Queen City. Today, the top team in the USL welcomes in the only side that has been eliminated from the 2018 playoff picture. Good afternoon and welcome inside of the broadcast booth. Tom Glader alongside my broadcast partner, Kevin McCloskey. Happy to have you with us here on this special Sunday afternoon of FC Cincinnati soccer. Alan Koch has the hottest team in the league, unbeaten in 17 straight. They have won 6 in a row, and today a new wrinkle, at home at least, as Fernando Adi gets the starting nod.
Yeah, I think getting the start, Alan talked about this in his pre-match game. This is the biggest game and the most important game this season so far, Tommy. I think to have that statement of starting your franchise player, the guy that lifted the roof here at Nippert the last time we saw him, I think is a massive statement.
Adi had the game winner last time he played at Nippert Stadium late in the match against Pittsburgh. Can he do it again today? Well, we'll find out. His teammate Corbin Bone had a game winner earlier this week in an odd situation against Louisville City. He's been playing very well, and he'll be matching up against Tsubasa Endo.
And he was, Corbin was the difference in that Louisville game. Very strange game like you talked about. But tonight as well, they're going to have to try to get in behind Toronto's back line. I think Corbin's the dynamic player that really unlocks at defense. I think Tsubasa Endo as well, though, you've got to give credit to him. Very talented midfielder, and I think both players will have an extremely tough battle in midfield tonight.
Well, the orange and blue, Kevin, they have never lost to Toronto FC2, but they tied 3-3 back on June 27th up in Canada. We'll show you the starting 11. Check in downstairs and get underway next. This is FC Cincinnati Soccer. FC Cincinnati and Toronto FC2 have taken the pitch on this beautiful Sunday, set to play the beautiful game, and they'll meet for the second time this season. Tom Glader, Kevin McCloskey, happy to be back with you as it's the second to last home game of the year for the Orange and Blue, and it's time to take a look at today's starting lineups brought to you by your local Toyota dealers. Let's go places. We talked about it off the top. Fernando Adi up top, Spencer Ritchie in goal for Alan Koch, his 11th start on the season. Corbin Bone, Manu Ledesma will play out on the wings alongside Nazmi Al-Badawi, and certainly a very strong 11 for the orange and blue tonight. At the other end for Toronto FC2 and first-year head coach Michael Rabaska, 6 of the 11 starters played Thursday night and started on Thursday night. You see Sean Hundle up top, the Ontario native, a goal and 3 assists on the season. Caleb Patterson-Sewell, the goalkeeper, 6'3", will make his 13th start of the season. He has a 1.67 goals against average. The third member of our broadcast team is Lindsay Patterson. She's down on the pitch. Let's check in for the first time this afternoon.
Yeah, guys, a little bit of a bizarre week for FC Cincinnati, but Coach Alan Koch said you have to expect the unexpected. A major credit to the field crew and Vice President of Operations, Dan McNally. They got started post-game removing the field goal post 30 minutes after last night's game. They started to work on the field at 11 p.m., left at sunrise, back a couple hours later this morning, rebrushing and painting the field. They told me weather played a huge factor in getting the field ready for today.
No doubt about that, Lindsay. A beautiful night and into the morning certainly helped with the situation, and much credit to Dan McNally and his crew for getting everything prepared. The injury report is brought to you by the Levy Law Offices, where they turn your crash into cash. Richie Ryan running this week as he recovers from his lower leg injury. Fatai Alashe picked up a knock, and he'll rehab his knee, not available in the 18 for Alan Koch. Tonight's match officials brought to you by Kingsgate Transportation. We'll see Laurent Varga manning the pitch today. Second time FC Cincinnati's seen him this season. They saw him previously on July 7th at Nashville. So he is the man in the middle, and these two teams are just about set to square off for the second time this season. It was an interesting match the first time around, Kevin. FC Cincinnati jumped out all over Toronto early, 3-1 at the half. And then the two side fought back big time in the second half and got a 3-3 draw out of it.
And we talked about it this week in the preview too, Tommy. It's a team that full of surprises, you know. Certainly got a young roster. Anytime that you do face an MLS2 team, there's definitely going to be, you know, some challenges as far as preparation, because you never know what's going to happen with the lineup. And I think this Toronto team again today, very surprising lineup. A talented team, and I think FC Cincinnati have to bring their best performance.
And folks wondered if maybe Toronto would load up on Major League Soccer rostered players. They did not. About the same that we saw when these two teams met back in late June. They did play last night, the MLS side did, and a couple of the guys that we thought we might see were in the 18 and involved with the MLS team. So the first touch is taken by Fernando Adi, and the 6th all-time meeting between Cincinnati and Toronto is underway here in the Queen City. The Orange and Blue lead the all-time series 4-0-1. They've won both of the previous matchups here at Nippert. Desmo will get the long ball down the right side, tries to center in the direction of Al-Badawi, cleared away by Toronto. Lahoud is there to recover. Good to see Michael Lahoud back after a trip to Africa to train with Sierra Leone. He did not appear in that match, but certainly a great experience for him, and glad to be back with his teammates.
I think, yeah, for the club as well, to have himself and Pa Kanote playing and representing within the African Cup of Nations is, I think, a feather in the cap of the franchise. Having players at that level, I think, is great. On a personal note, I think they're pretty tired. Absolutely. I think as far as recovery, just to see Michael Lahoud back in the lineup again is a testament to his recovery and kind of the work that he's put in to get him back fit and ready for this game.
Pa is not involved in the 18 today. Is Blake Smith starting at left back. 2 games coming up next week. I'd imagine we'll see him for the Orange and Blue in that double dip road trip. Toronto working in the midfield. Corbin Bone got a touch. Happy birthday to Corbin Bone, celebrating his 30th birthday today. We'll talk about that more as the broadcast goes along. But important to note, last year here at Nippert, he played on his birthday and scored a big goal against the New York Red Bulls too.
Yep.
4 different goal scorers in that match 1 year ago today. Hundle trying to get it into the middle. Spencer Ritchie has to come over and catch it, hold it above his head. Evan Newton started when these two teams played June 27th. Ritchie's been the goalkeeper as of late for the Orange and Blue and done a fine job as he is 9-1-0 as a starter. His goals against average down to 1.10 on the season. Tonight's broadcast of FC Cincinnati is brought to you in part by U.S. Bank. Here's Ledesma, 13 goals, 12 assists on the season, and you'd have to think racing his way towards 2018 USL MVP honors. Lasso with his left foot. Blake Smith racing up the near touch. Smith will hold it in the final third over to Bone. Bone loses the touch, ended up with Malik Johnson. He's able to clear it out into the midfield. Serbo was there. See, Cincinnati wanted a foul called, will not get it. And a long ball in the direction of Hundo is way too heavy, and Richie's able to come over to the corner of his 18 and collect. Lasso knocks it back to Potty Barrett. Potty wearing the captain's armband today, getting the start alongside Lasso. Certainly has done a fine job filling in, not only in the role of Deco Kanan on the back line. No injury to Deco today, just a coach's choice based on training this week.
You talked about, Spencer Ritchie and Evan Newton, that kind of competitive battle. I think it's been very healthy that's going on, but centre backs too, Deco Kanan, a guy of his experience, to be left out of the squad again is a reflection of the good competition. Paddy Barrett, Forrest Lasso, they have been very impressive this season too, Tommy.
Foul was called right at the edge of the attacking third for FC Cincinnati. You're absolutely right. It's great to have a guy like Deco Kanan available on your bench, a leader, tons of experience.
Such a luxury, really.
Really is for Alan Koch and his technical staff. Manuel Ledesma will spot it up, say about 33 yards away. Of course, he'll hit it with his left foot. The big targets pushing forward. Set pieces is where Toronto has conceded at times this year, and FC Cincinnati knows they may have some opportunities, situations like this tonight. Here's the ball from Ledesma, played short, knocked away by Toronto. Comes out to the midfield as the sun peeking its way back out. We'll start to see some shadows throughout the match as the sun will set behind us. Hoyt working right side. Swings it over in the direction of Lasso. It goes over his head, then misplayed back to Forrest. Wasn't able to control it. Johnson for the visitors, forward for Hundo, and again, it's the second time he's tried to find Sean Hundo and just overhit it.
Well, and you can see just the game plan for Toronto. If you remember the last game too, you talked about, they were up 3-1. The team ended up coming back 3-3. They relied a lot on counter-attacking play, and you can see this already. They're sitting back defensively. As soon as they've won it, Hundo's try to be very direct and try to find space in behind.
Smith plays it over to the right side, headed away as it was going in the direction of Ledesma. Tariq Muhammad could feel Ledesma lurking behind him and did the smart move there to force it out and create a corner. All of today's corner kicks are brought to you by the Levy Law offices.
Just talked about before the free kick from Ledesma too. Toronto, a team very susceptible to conceding goals from set pieces.
So if FC Cincinnati could strike early here in the 6th minute. Ledesma from the far corner, out in front. Lasso and Adi were there, some pushing inside of the 6-yard box. It's quickly broken up. Let's take a look at your keys to the match tonight for the Orange and Blue.
Well, especially with Adi starting now as a target, I noticed this a little bit against Louisville too. I think FC Cincinnati have to improve their support into their target players. Trying to get overloads, trying to find availability for Adi, for Ledesma, for Al-Badawi, just to lay back and really try to create combinations. And the second thing, especially at home too, is sustain energy. Don't let this team back into the game. We've seen it when they play their A game at home at Nipper, Tommy. There's not a team in the league that can touch them.
Well, I mentioned it earlier, the odd situation earlier this week when the club played 38 minutes against Louisville Saturday night in torrential downpour and sloppy conditions at Slugger Field, then had to go back Tuesday, play the final 52 minutes, and it really felt as though in that match, FC Cincinnati was lacking in energy. They got away with a 1-0 advantage. Here's a chance for some energy early, and the flag is up. Fernando Adi offside. That got everybody to their feet quickly, and a no-go for the Orange and Blue. But going back to that thought, there wasn't much energy. It felt like a scrimmage. We talked about that on the air, and Allen knew that he needed his team to come out. A large crowd is expected this afternoon and provide energy to this stadium and to this team from the first whistle.
Yeah, I think the replay, when you talk about that for any player, that's strange. That's different. You talk about kind of treating it just as a real game, which you have to. But, in the back of your head as a player, it's just very, very different. It's not natural. I think the good thing is that they got through it. Like you talked about, and we can already see it, the most important thing is fix the energy tonight. We've seen that from the start.
Hundo will hit a ball that'll slowly roll wide of the frame. And Richie will have a goal kick. A little bit of contact there, and no foul called, but a physical couple of plays here in the first 7 or 8 minutes.
I think both sides of the ball, really, like good energy. I think Forrest Lasso, Paddy Barrett kind of got stuck in on Hundle as well, just to send a message. You know, the last play, the Adi was caught offside. Just good support from Corbin Bone and Al-Badawi just to get forward. And so far, it's been a good start.
Al-Badawi will collect, and then it's taken off of his foot into the midfield. Come to Blake Smith. He'll quickly touch it down to Lasso.
Biggest thing too, Tommy, you know these players love coming and playing in Nipper Stadium.
Barrett with a brilliant ball to Ledesma. Into the 18. Manu trying to center it. Great job defensively there by Toronto to catch up, send it out along the end line. And again, it was Tariq Muhammad who's been all over Manu Ledesma early.
I talked about it. He is trying to get in behind Toronto. Great ball by Paddy Barrett. Ledesma does enough just to kind of draw Muhammad across. Ends up getting another set piece, another opportunity. But with every play, every attack, you can hear the crowd, the energy, the buzz getting behind this FC Cincinnati team.
Here's a chance again for Ledesma. On the corner kick brought to you by the Levy Law Offices from the far side to the left of the frame. All the big targets inside of the 6 right now. Ledesma is going to play it out to the top of the 18. Blake Smith misses on the scissor kick, then Bone sends it, and it goes wide. That was a different look for FC Cincinnati, and Blake Smith had the ball coming in on him, just couldn't connect.
Yeah, acrobatic effort here, an attempt from Blake Smith. Just wishes maybe he was a little bit taller, but I'll tell you what, A for effort on that.
Looked like a young Kevin McCloskey.
Yeah, buddy, I would have done a forward tumble into that. He picking up my hip flexor as well.
Yeah. Caleb Patterson-Sewell, the Tennessee native, 31-year-old goalkeeper. We'll put it back into play in the 10th minute as we're scoreless here at Nippert. Sewell, one of 6 players who started Thursday against New York, starting again for Toronto this afternoon. Short turnaround as the club came directly here to Cincinnati after that 3-3 draw. LeHoud to Bone, a bit heavy on the touch, but Corbin was able to slow it down a bit, and then Blake Smith catches up with it. Smith to Adi. Nearly came off the Bone, and then clear to the touchline where the orange and blue will throw it in.
Almost impressive on that, like you said, just great interplay, good little combinations. Certainly reflects the energy, very sharp.
Barrett looking for Ledesma again. It's going to come off to him, and Manu Ledesma, a little bit of a shove. I told you he's been tied up with Tariq Muhammad there, and a little bit of extra muscle to try to get to the ball.
There's 2 or 3 chances now. The Paddy Barrett's trying to find him. Great delivery again, just trying to turn the back line. I think Ledesma just gets a little bit of a touch there.
Yeah, good call.
Ends up just too much contact.
There was very little argument from Manu Ledesma, and you know if there is that little of an argument from an Argentinian friend.
He's just passionate, Tommy.
Yes, he's passionate.
It's in his blood.
But there have been very few calls this year that Manu Ledesma has liked, and he didn't argue that one very much. So I fully believe that Lauren Varga got it right. Patterson-Sewell well across midfield, headed away by Barrett. Al-Badawi. He'll look for Fernando Adi and hit it too hard. Fernando knew what he was trying to do, but it bounces on to Toronto's goalkeeper.
And you can see from these attacks again, just trying to play him behind the Toronto backline. A lot of space now is going to open up. Al-Badawi, Corbin Bone, Ledesma going to be able to check into kind of those half spaces in front of the backline. This is where you really try to keep the opponent on their toes.
Johnson works it into the middle. Now over wide to the left side. Hoyt getting back defensively for the orange and blue. Muhammad trying to center it. Hoyt got in the way, and Toronto will have their first corner kick of the afternoon.
You have to respect Toronto again. How they counter, they get numbers forward. They're a young team full of confidence. This is Muhammad not that far away again. Justin Hoyt did what he was supposed to. Covered the shot, but FC Cincinnati have to keep that in the back of their mind tonight. Preventative shape is so important.
Endo, who you highlighted off the top of the broadcast, will take the corner from the far side, sends it across the middle. Lasso gets his head on it. Endo will race over, keep it in play on the far touchline. He had a goal in the match on Thursday for Toronto. Came in the 23rd minute. Kenny Walker trying to work in transition, gets it into the middle to Adi. Looking for some help is Fernando Adi, and then he muscles his way towards Corbin Bone and slides it to number 19. Bone to Ledesma off his back heel at the edge of the 18. Ledesma across the middle, a couple steps away from Fernando. Now back to Bart, right up the middle. Over to Walker, who started it all, taken away by Toronto. Okello came from behind to pick it up. Serbal back into the midfield, and Toronto will show some patience.
FC Cincinnati did a good job this time of getting numbers back, establishing that block, trying to stay compact defensively.
Endo taps it away from Al-Badawi. Now gets it back. Toronto try to switch sides of the pitch to Dante Campbell. Ton of space over on the near side for Kubel. Now it'll come in his direction. Smith giving chase. Kubel got a piece of it, and it stays in. No, it does not. Say it just bounced over the end line. It looked as though it took a funny spin. Let's see. Lost it there on the camera angle.
I think what he was claiming was he got to it before it went over the line, but I think the linesman in a good position there. I'm going to trust his call on that.
Absolutely. Flag went up, and he immediately pointed towards the corner. So now Endo will come over to the near side. Toronto on the attack. Endo across the middle. Dangerously skips across the mouth of the goal. Over to the far side. Campbell providing preventative coverage. Back to Muhammad. Into the box, Hundle. Hundle on the cross, put it right off the leg of Bart, who's able to clear it easily, and now some space the other way for Ledesma. Mono going to slow down, wait for some help. Now everybody will push up. It's Hoyt sneaking up from behind, and you thought maybe they should have kept it moving.
I think at one point there, I think there was 2-on-2. Himself and Adi versus the two central defenders for Toronto.
I like that matchup.
I like that matchup too.
Lahoud to Bone, try to find Adi, did not. Walker will slide it over to the right in the direction of Mano Ledesma. Ledesma into the middle to Adi off his chest. Had Corbin Bone to his right and had the right idea, just didn't quite get there. Ledesma to Bone, right at the edge of the 18, across the middle over the head of Adi. Al-Badawi giving chase. Touched out to the near side by Toronto, and FC Cincinnati will throw it in inside of their final third. Smith throws it short to Bone. Texas native on the cross. Tries twice to get it across, cannot. And then this pass is intercepted by Toronto. Okello into the middle. Serbal giving chase. Toronto's a team that's been scoring a lot of goals as of late. I mentioned off the top, they're the only team in the USL right now that has been eliminated from the playoff hunt. Don't tell them that. They've scored 13 goals in their last 5 matches, including 4 down the road at Louisville a week and a half ago.
Got to think about what their objectives are too, Tommy, as a club and as a model. 100%. You know, it's getting to the playoffs, I'm sure, is a great feather in their cap, but it's certainly not their end goal as an organization. This team is certainly here to service their MLS team.
Absolutely. I mean, if you're developing players and making runs in Major League Soccer playoffs, that's a lot more important to the two teams than it is, say, winning the USL. Of course, New York won the USL 2 years back. 2016 with a fantastic year. And that's an organization that's done a fantastic job of funneling guys to their senior team.
What you tend to notice too with these MLS2 teams, there's a lot of very good individual performances. Not a great ton of, game to game where it's a good game performance or a team performance, but certain individuals have to show up, and they want to show up obviously to prove a point and make a stake to that next level. 4
teenagers starting for Toronto FC2 tonight.
That's
By
awesome.
comparison, FC Cincinnati does not have a teenager on their roster. Sem David, 23, is the youngest player.
I think that's something that might change next year and beyond. But again, it's just the difference in two models,
Back to the foot of Toronto defensively. Boskovic sends it long across midfield to Blake Smith. Smith looks in the direction of Adi, wearing the clean white boots again here at home. Adi has Bone onside. Here comes the birthday boy into the 18. Bone back across the middle. Ledesma misses on it, and Toronto stops it at the end line of the last second. Now the visitor's going to try to find something in transition, slowed down by Lasso.
That's great target play to start that whole move off from Adi, being able to spin and turn, finding Corbin Bone. That's what we talked about before the game, Tommy. That player wants to get him behind. He's a player full of energy too.
Adi's going to be called for a foul. A little bit of muscle there. Let's take a look at that last play and the golden opportunity for the orange and blue.
These are the situations you want Corbin Bone running in space, running at defenders. Ledesma's not that far away either.
Ball nearly came off of Mohammed. It was Boskovic who turned around and picked it up. And he was bouncing slow, so it wasn't a wildly dangerous ball, but a heads-up play, no doubt, by Robert Boskovic. 6'3" defender. See Fernando Adi with all that size. He outmuscles you often to set up the play. That time he just used a little bit too much muscle and was called for the foul. Smith with the misplayed ball into the foot of Serbal. Johnson retreating with pressure on. Now Toronto has to come all the way back out across midfield.
I can't wait to see Adi when he's fully fit. Interesting to see if he's able to last the full 90. I doubt it, Tommy, just kind of with how they're planning and prepping him too to try to get the best out of him. It's a little bit of a process, but I'll tell you what, you talked about his strength. That goal at Nippert Stadium against Pittsburgh.
He does it. 3 defenders on.
That's different level.
We haven't seen many players in 3 years here at Nippert Stadium who could score that goal in that moment. Fernando Adi certainly one on that short list. Tonight's broadcast of FC Cincinnati is brought to you in part by Frisch's. On whatever the minute total ends up for Adi tonight, Alan Koch has a couple of great options in Emery Welshman and Danny Koenig, anxious to get into the game and make a difference as well.
Oh, absolutely. We watched in training too. It was very entertaining this week.
Danny Koenig.
Seeing the proficiency of finishing from a lot of the attacking players, really.
Crossing ball over the head of Ritchie, then headed away by Blake Smith. I don't think he realized nobody was on. It'll come out slowly on the near touchline. A throw in for Toronto. We're just past the 20-minute mark. Scoreless thus far. Tom Glitter, Kevin McCloskey, Lindsey Patterson. Our producer David Ashbrook. Thrilled to be with you today. Absolutely perfect September Sunday for a matinee edition of FC Cincinnati Soccer. Second to last regular season home game. Of course, there's 5 regular season games left after this, 4 of which will be on the road for Alan Koch's lads. A ball is hit hard from just outside of the 18 by Okello. Sails high over the frame. Spencer Ritchie seemed to have it lined up, but Okello snuck in and got a good piece of it.
I think he had it covered, like you said, but the interesting thing here, this strike from Okello, this ball moves a lot. Almost side foots it as he provides a little bit of whip and dip on it.
He didn't miss by much.
Wasn't that far away.
The old whip and dip is not a problem for FC Cincinnati. And Desmond just misses the ball there. I think he's saying that it was deflected away and wants an orange and blue throw, and he will not get it. Fernando Adi's bent over in the meantime. They've taken a collision there.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Back of the head, too.
Boskovic, the 20-year-old, got him.
Yeah, he gets that right in just the base of the neck right there. Looks like he's fine. He's recovered okay.
Talked about that game-winning goal from Fernando Adi last time this team was at home. Remember, he got a questionable yellow card moments before. Don't poke the bear.
No. Well, I mean, just looking at his body language and kind of his contribution so far, he's on it. He's ready. The biggest thing for him now is trying to get the ball higher up the field if he can, inside the box. Now, not only is he big, strong, fast, quick, agile, he's a good goal scorer.
And he bought a house here in Cincinnati. He has moved his wife and child, under a year old, to the Queen City. And when you talk about the transition from playing in Major League Soccer, being at Portland, having a house and cars there, having to have everything shipped out to the Queen City, and then staying in a hotel, frankly, for a couple weeks without your wife and child, that's hard.
Yeah.
And Fernando has made the transition. He's here to stay in the Queen City, and certainly looking more comfortable out there for Alan Koch. Albanawi going to try to set him up. Gets it off to Adi, then taken off his foot. Fernando fighting to get it back. Tracks it down and then takes out his teammate Forrest Lasso. Adi goes down. Blake Smith running over. Some miscommunication there, as Adi's again going to be slow to his feet. Okello over to the left. Endo, and Tsubasa Endo with a great looking strike from 25 yards away. Goes upper 90, and Toronto on top here on the road. And it's all set up by that collision in midfield.
But yeah, right or wrong, Tommy, this is the biggest thing here. You can't give a player of this ability that much space and time. That's the talent we talked about. It. That's really Toronto's key player. This is the unfortunate, you know, Adi does fantastic defensive work to get back. He said maybe a lack of communication, but unfortunate blow from there, though. I think just the space that Endo has, you can't give him that space.
It was Eckenrode who set it up, pushing out across midfield and getting past Adi and Lasso. And for Endo, it's his 6th goal of the season and 2nd in 2 games.
You've got to give him credit too, Tommy. That's a fantastic strike.
Absolutely. Now the orange and blue have to find some energy and get Nippert alive again. Crowd in excess of 27,000 expected today. A little bit stunned as the last place team in the East leading 1-0 on the top team and the hottest team in the league.
Now we're 25 minutes in too, and that's really Toronto's only attack, I would say, Tommy. You know, the one strike just before that outside of the box, but there's not been a lot of, you know, creative play that's built up, try to test FC Cincinnati's backline. That really was from, like you said, a transitional mistake. I don't think you hit the panic button at all. I think FC Cincinnati have started this game well. There's been good energy. They just got to stick to the game plan. These next 10 minutes, I think, are going to be very important just to respond the right way. Try to get back into this game.
Bard battling for the header. Now Ledesma gets knocked down far touchline. Late whistle, but the foul is called by Lauren Varga. And it'll be a free kick for FC Cincinnati. Remember, the orange and blue undefeated now in 17 straight, 13-0-4 across that stretch that started June 2nd. Here's the foul on the far touchline. There's probably 2 fouls there. Muhammad and Serbo got a piece of Ledesma. Ball played long and ends up on the foot of the goalkeeper. Nani will put enough pressure on to get Patterson Sewell to pick it up. Ball in the direction of Serbo, headed away and won by Walker. Well, the orange and blue had a clean sheet in their battle against Louisville that stretched over a couple of days earlier this week. Won't be the case here this afternoon at home as they trail 1-0 in the first half. Bard across midfield, bounces right to Ledesma. The Argentinian into the 18, to the end line, trying to get it across the middle, and it'll be a corner kick for the orange and blue.
It's a fantastic tackle from Boskovic. Ledesma, brilliant play, really penetrates, commits the defender here. He's looking maybe just a little bit of contact. Again, Boskovic just kind of dives to prevent that ball across. Adi was coming in on the goalkeeper too.
Ledesma's had 2 looks from that exact corner so far here in the first half. Can he find a teammate in the 28th minute and equalize? Here's the service from the Argentinian. Near post, came off of LaHood and Lasso, out to Walker. Walker sends it back, cleared by Toronto. Boyd out at midfield, will step to it. Justin sends it back, off to Lasso, over to LaHood, and he mishits it, putting it up into the Bailey.
That's a great setting touch by Forrest Lasso. A little delicate header back into Michael LaHood's path. Michael just unable to get his body over it. It's hard technique. You just see this again, great little layoff. The ball just doesn't settle for him. I think as well, you know, I talked about not hitting panic buttons. I think so far FC Cincinnati have had the positive trends. I think they've created more. I think possession's been better.
Look, FC Cincinnati's tied for second in the USL for the most goals this season with 56. They're a team that scores in bunches, knows they can certainly overcome a first half deficit at home, but got to keep creating opportunities. Smith knocks it away near touchline, and Toronto's a team, and we saw it in the first matchup, that when they get some confidence, it grows. And this is their now 14th goal in their last 6 matches.
Nothing to lose, right? I mean, it's about how impressed can they be, you know, of the first team coach, obviously the second team coach, Michael Rabaska as well. They're certainly going to try to take their opportunities.
Fouls called on Malik Johnson, tangled up with Corbin Bone. Johnson's going to end up in the book. He kept pushing the ball further back, and Lauren Varga had enough of that. Reaches to his pocket for the first time in the 30th minute. There's the foul, which he disagreed with, and then
I think it's the off. There's
yeah, it was. No, it absolutely was. Delay of game results in the first booking of the afternoon. First booking of the season for Johnson. Ritchie across midfield. Adi was held up. Eckenrode had his arms wrapped around him, and a foul will be called. Yeah. Keep poking the bear.
Eckenrode was along for the ride there. He wrapped up Adi.
Walker and Ledesma will stand over the ball. Interesting piece on social media yesterday, posted by Alex Steck, where she went through this type of process with Manu Ledesma and how he looks to strike the ball on his set pieces, where obviously he's had great success this year.
Have you practiced yet?
Did I?
Yeah.
No.
Got to take those.
It's been a busy weekend,
That's
mate.
Valuable information, Tommy.
Absolutely. Here's Ledesma hitting it to the far post. Forrest Lasso ties the game with his 3rd of the season. And with that goal, Manu Ledesma sets a new USL record for assists in a season with 13.
Well, as previously stated, Tommy, Toronto are susceptible to giving up goals on set pieces. And that's a class ball in by Ledesma. We talk about setting records in great fashion as well. That's not a bad header from Lasso either. Really, the timing of every run, I think Lasso, Nazmi was in that attack, Paddy Barrett as well.
And Paddy's right behind him trailing. Fernando is at the near post, so if that ball is mishit, Fernando probably taps it in.
The timing of the runs was to perfection.
Absolutely.
And perfectly weighted pass from Ledesma too. Game on, Tommy.
Absolutely. Just past the half-hour mark, it's 1-1. Nippert Stadium feeling the enthusiasm now.
You've got to say too, I mean, Endo's goal was against the run of play.
Al-Badawi finds Adi at the corner of the 18. Fernando inside of the box, sends it to the far post, and he just mishit it trying to find Ledesma. 13 assists now for 30-year-old Emmanuel Ledesma, setting a new USL record and matching his 13 goals on the season.
What a signing he's been for this club.
Think we'll see him in orange and blue next year?
I think so. I hope so.
Me too. Patterson Sewell will take the goal kick left to right. Sewell just 3 clean sheets on the season. He won't have one today. Bounding ball to the far touchline. Muhammad chasing. Misplays it right to Hoyt.
I think the other thing about Ledesma, he doesn't get enough credit for this. I mean, just the work that he does defensively. On that last play, he was the guy that actually got the touch that dispossessed Toronto. He works so hard off the ball. A lot of times and we've seen this probably 3 or 4 times for his goals or his setups. And from his hard work, he's kind of created a chance in transition.
Hoyt working with Barrett, and the work that nobody will see that Manuel Ledesma puts in, except for the fans who stay 45, 60 minutes after the games. He'll stay and sign every autograph and take every selfie until the last fan is satisfied and headed to their car. It'll be an hour after the match, and he's still out here. Over the head of Adi, bone-giving chase. Corbin will grab it at the end line. Gives it off to Nazmi. Al-Badawi dancing over to Adi. Adi tried to feed it back, could not. Now we'll look to chase it down. Played into the midfield in the direction of Hoyt. So he's become a fan favorite for his efforts on the pitch as well as off.
I think that's really the MO of this club too, though,
Absolutely.
Tommy. I mean, fans really have all access, which is fantastic.
Well, Jeff Birding has said it from 2016 and on forward that when he talks to players, he explains to them, this is what we do. Adi off his chest. It's misplayed by Toronto, and now they're able to pick it back up. Serbo on the near touch. Smith giving chase, and Serbo has to retreat, and Walker comes into him. But to finish my point is that Jeff Birding tells guys when they're looking at signing him that the club stays after matches. You sign autographs, you take pictures, the fans line up along the wall. And if that's not for you, that's okay, but then FC Cincinnati is not for you.
Representing community, and then, you know, that's a massive pillar really in the identity and philosophy of this club.
City has embraced the club and certainly excited about what is to come for the orange and blue. Toronto plays it out near touchline. It'll be FC Cincinnati throw in. We know for sure the orange and blue will be home for the first round of the playoffs the weekend of October 20th. I'm fairly confident a win today would ensure first and second round wins.
What a ball in.
Adi with a brilliant ball to Ledesma, who's held up. No whistle. I thought maybe advantage was being played. Not the case. Adi had a great pass, and Ledesma wasn't able to finish it.
I think even before that pass, just the spin and turn from Adi. This guy's going to be something special, Tommy.
Playoffs start October 20th that weekend here in Cincinnati for certain. And the club right now trying to make sure they have the opportunity to host 4 playoff games with a strong finish to the 2018 season. Bone and Smith battling it. The orange and blue win it back. And then Corbin Bone playing it back to Smith, just a bit too strong with a near touch. 36th minute, 1-1. Endo struck first for Toronto. Lasso with his 3rd of the year, the answer for FC Cincinnati. And that's where we stand here in the first half. Foul on Justin Hoyt in the midfield. And it's going to take Endo an extra minute to get up and collect himself. Tsubasa Endo, the native of Tokyo, Japan. 8th start of the season, picks up the foul here. He's got the heavy hip of Justin Hoyt. Endo will play it back to Eckenrode. Over to Kubel. Now back to Eckenrode. Toronto just 3 wins on the season, 20 losses and 4 draws. Okello playing it forward, but Lasso's there with the protection and will let it roll on to Ritchie. Spencer scoops it up. CFC Cincinnati's wearing the black armbands again, honoring the victims of the tragedy downtown now a week and a half ago. First time they played at home, and there was a moment of silence for the victims before today's match. Barrett over to Ledesma, who's been active here in the first half. Man with the corner of the 18. Now sends it off to Adi, and a last-second save. It wouldn't have mattered. Flag was up. Fernando redirected it. The flag went up from the far side.
It was tough for Adi too. He initially made the run. I think you see just this little delay from Ledesma. Ends up kind of leaving him in an offside position, but still good technique just to open up his hips. Ends up being a good save by Patterson-Sewell.
Caleb Patterson-Sewell, the goalkeeper for Toronto, Liverpool youth. Played the 2017 season with Jacksonville in the NASL. Grew up in Queensland. Ended up moving to Tennessee. Lahoud wins it in the midfield. Off to Bone. He has Smith working up the left side, trying to find the angle, and now delivers it. Smith back to Bone. Down to the back line, and Barrett will feature Corbin Bone at halftime, and the incredible consistency that he has provided through his 3 years in orange and blue. That's coming up at halftime, so make sure you stay tuned for that. Corbin today, his 88th USL appearance and his 83rd start for this club in league play. Overall, it's his 93rd appearance, including cup games. Bart working in the midfield, used a little bit of his muscle to keep it alive. Got away with it. Lasso will bring it up the near side. Scotty Barrett, probably one of the last guys you want putting a forearm in your face on this FC Cincinnati club.
Yeah. I think it's been fantastic for him too, just the growth.
Yeah.
You talk about development. Obviously, a lot of times you associate that with the youth game, but so much development even at the professional level too, from where you start to where you finish. And you know, Paddy was a guy that really was on the outside looking in at the start of the season. Was patient and continued to work hard and kind of work at his trade, and that really he's been a really key figure in this back line. He's certainly grown in confidence.
Hoyt up to Ledesma. He'll pull it towards the corner. Now trying to give it back to Justin Hoyt inside of the 18. Endo was playing it back and picked it up. Lahoud intercepts the pass in the midfield. Lasso pushing the line forward. Smith on the near side. Into the middle, Lahoud. Off to Bone. Bone tried to just skip it into the middle of Adi, who was intercepted, but then he was able to recover. And Ledesma will swing it into the 18. Off to the head of Adi. Fernando Adi then trying to crash in. And Lars Eckenrode, it's very clear what his assignment is today. Know where number 9 is at all times.
I think just you look at that relationship between Ledesma and Adi. It's just a little bit off today too. I think, you know, just the timing, even the placement of some of the services from Ledesma. I think Adi wants that in front of him. And those last 2 services kind of being behind him a little bit, because there's a lot of space, Tommy, just at that front post that Adi certainly can penetrate into. And I think if Ledesma can get the timing and the pace right and find him at the front post, it's going to come off.
Walker back to Bard. It's funny, that match that Adi won against Pittsburgh with the late heroics. Of course, he missed on an opportunity moments before that on the pass from Jimmy McLaughlin. And Jimmy told me that after the match, Adi apologized to him for not finishing that ball that Jimmy put right to him at the far post. And Jimmy said, "Are you kidding me, man? You won the match. Don't worry about the one you didn't get."
Okay, imagine that though today. He's scoring that goal, and that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Like, the process of getting Adi ready and up to speed takes a little bit of time. He was certainly a little rusty that night.
I think 19 times out of 20, if Adi gets that ball on the far post, he's putting it away.
Well, he made up for it anyway, so.
Yeah. Al-Badawi slides it to the left, Smith. Smith into the 18. It'll go over to Ledesma. Right at the corner of the 18. Hits it with his left foot. It catches the post. Adi gets back to it. Over to Kenny Walker, and he just misses wide. Walker had a great look after the ball hits the post, and FC Cincinnati nearly took the lead.
That's the initial strike again by Ledesma. Just the pace on this ball as he whips it in. Hits off the back post. Look at Kenny Walker's technique coming up here too. Great little dummy by Corbin Bone. Sets him up outside of the right foot. That wasn't far away either.
Just sent it wide of the frame after Ledesma almost had his 14th of the season. FC Cincinnati trying to find the lead before heading into the dressing room. 43rd minute, we're tied at 1 apiece. Fernando Adi's going to be called for a foul. Got his arm into the back of Kubel, the German. And it'll be a free kick for Toronto. 6 straight wins for the Orange and Blue. Everything they've done has pretty much been the best in the league this year. Obviously the best record right now, the longest unbeaten streak at 17. There's not another club in the league that has won their last 5 games. FC Cincinnati's passed that with 6 straight.
Best fans.
No doubt about that. Averaging over 25,000 per match.
Yeah.
We're going to see a number north of 27 here today. Johnson back to Kubel. Over to the right side. Picked up by Serble, but then Smith got there to win it back.
Blake Smith doing what he does. Mr. Dependable again. Just good to see him back in that left back position.
24th start of the year for Blake Smith. Big signing from Miami FC.
Yeah. Just how impactful he's been, really both sides of the ball too, not just as a defender, but he works his tail to get up on that left-hand side as well to support the attack.
Of course, everybody here in the Queen City knew how powerful that Miami FC team was. Here's a chance for Ledesma. Great ball to get to him. Manu dancing on the right side. Taken down hard near the far touch. Foul will be called. Manu will take a chance to catch his breath. I should say it was a throw-in. Not a free kick. Okay. We talk about how good Miami was last year. Obviously, these 2 teams battled Miami and Cincinnati in the U.S. Open Cup quarterfinals. All 3 of the signings from that club have made an impact on the success of this season. Of course, Richie Ryan remains out with his frustrating leg injury, but he started to run this week. We mentioned that early and is working his way back.
Yeah.
But he's a big part of the reason this team was successful early in the year.
Oh, he's huge.
And Lahoud has picked up a lot of the slack in his absence.
Both players. I mean, obviously Blake Smith as well. We talked about him, but Richie Ryan, like you said, really was the general in midfield. The first third of the season until he had that unfortunate injury. But Michael Lahoud was a later signing. Came in again, has some really good performances. I think those signings from Miami have certainly put FC Cincinnati, this squad, at a higher level than last season. No disrespect to any of the players that played last season, but
Bone with some room into the middle to Ledesma. Manu tried to feed it back, and Bone couldn't get there before Eckenrode found it. Then Hoyt with a tough collision wins the ball, and he's going to chase it towards the corner.
Well, to keep that in as well.
Hoyt not able to get enough on it to center it. Toronto clears it out into the midfield. 2 minutes of stoppage time. We're about halfway through here in the first half at Nippert Stadium. Barrett looking again in the direction of Ledesma and finds him. Manu across the middle for Bone. Let it go through to Adi. Adi at the top of the 18 has to drop it back for Lahoud. Lahoud to the far post. Walker chasing. Had the right idea, but 6'3" goalkeeper Caleb Patterson-Sewell got there first. Tough matchup for Kenny Walker, 5'9", going in on that ball. Another great ball, by the way, from Bart, just to set it up.
So impressed, honestly, with his growth and his development, but even his performance tonight's been fantastic.
Oh, look at Fernando Adi into the box. Fernando Adi, far post. FC Cincinnati leads 2-1.
Did I say about him being different level?
The stoppage time strike from the designated player. He has his second in orange and blue.
All starts here. This touch, little flick over. See you later. Good touch. And a little toe poke into the bottom corner. How silky is that, Tommy?
Silky's a great way to put it. He knew he had Sewell beat. He hit it off the side of his foot to the far post, tumbled over the end boards, and got a big hug from Manu Ledesma. That'll make the crowd roar here in the Queen City. High fives all around as the orange and blue now seconds away from taking a lead into the locker room after trailing 1-0 in the 24th minute.
He's a class act, I tell you what.
I think he'll take a well-deserved rest to his stall in the locker room. Catch his breath after that run. He's been very involved in the first 45 minutes.
Oh, we talked to one of the keys of the game was high energy, high performance. So far, it's been that. I think every single player in the starting 11 really have worked their socks off, Tommy.
Endo going to try to hit one more. Endo with some room. Takes a strike, and Toronto answers right back. A disaster for FC Cincinnati as they had all of the momentum. And Tsubasa Endo has other plans, 7 goals on the season.
And another talented player that we talked about. His first goal strikes with his left foot. This time he cuts inside. Fakes that he's going to hit it with his left. Hits with his right. That's another good goal.
It's a fantastic goal, but you can't allow that. The worst thing you can do there, and I'm sure Alan Koch will tell Lindsay that here momentarily, is you can't allow that letdown after going up 2-1.
Right, and that's obviously the cliche is when you're most vulnerable after you've just scored. That was that moment. I think more than anything else, when we talk about the game plan, though, that they've got to respect Endo. That's twice now, 2 different occasions. His right foot, his left foot, been the difference for Toronto.
Well, a great strike from Fernando Audi, made it 2-1, but then Toronto answered back seconds later. And with 45 minutes of soccer in the books, it's 2-2. Lindsay Patterson is with head coach Alan Koch.
Coach, that's not how you want the first half to end after your guys responded. What do you tell them in the dressing room?
The first 45 minutes weren't good enough, irrespective if they scored at the end. Toronto is a good team. We're obviously capable of a lot more than we showed in the first 45 minutes, and we need to impose ourselves more on them. We need to increase the tempo of the game instead of slowing the game down and then making a bit of a lottery. We really need to carry the game and take it to them a little bit more than we did. And obviously managing the moments, yeah, we scored 2 good goals, but we gave up 2 goals too at the same time. So we expect a lot more in the second 45 minutes.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, Lindsay. The orange and blue scored 2 goals in a game for the 14th time in the last 18 matches. But with 45 more to come, it's tied 2-2. When we return to Nipper Stadium, a chat with consistent midfielder Corbin Bone. All the highlights and much more through our halftime report. This is FC Cincinnati Soccer. Back at Nippert Stadium, where we are at the half in the second meeting this season between FC Cincinnati and Toronto FC2. For the last 3 years, number 19 has been worn by Corbin Bone, and today he celebrates his 30th birthday. We celebrate with him by looking at one of the Orange and Blue's most consistent.
Corbin Bone, take one.
Corbin Bone, number 19.
Veteran Corbin Bone joined FC Cincinnati in December 2015 as part of the club's first group of signings, and had a feeling back then that something special was brewing in the Queen City.
For a new team where you have no idea, the sky's the limit where you can become, MLS team or the best team in the nation, that kind of stuff.
Bone wasted no time getting supporters' attention, scoring a spectacular goal from distance during the Orange and Blues preseason training trip at IMG Academy in February of 2016. Since then, Bone has established himself as FC Cincinnati's Iron Man. The Plano, Texas native leads the club in all-time starts, and last week eclipsed 7,000 career minutes in Orange and Blue during his start versus rival Louisville City. Bone has provided memorable moments throughout his career in the Queen City, maybe none more than his first half goal on August 19th, 2017, giving FC Cincinnati an early lead in the U.S. Open Cup semifinal. Less than a month later, the fan favorite tallied again at Nippert, this time on his birthday, and just days after the birth of his son Brooks.
Falls to Corbin Bone, who takes a shot, and the new father has done it!
In 3 years, Bone has proven himself as a Cincinnati staple, engaging the community, marrying his wife Annie, buying a house, and becoming a father. The 2010 Major League Soccer draft pick will end FC Cincinnati's USL era as the club's all-time leader in starts and minutes played. Between his reliable leadership, consistent play on the pitch, varying hairstyles, and trademark enthusiasm, Corbin Bone will forever mark the past 3 seasons as one of the club's most reliable players.
Today, Corbin Bone's 83rd USL start for FC Cincinnati. Forrest Lasso has gotten a lot of attention in his first season in an FC Cincinnati kit. Recently, the USL took him on for a game of horse.
How's it going, everyone? USL's Kelsey Steele here with FC Cincinnati defender Forrest Lasso. So we're well aware of what Forrest can do on the pitch, so today we're going to see what he's got on the court. We've got a game of horse going with a few questions in between. So Forrest, you want to get to it?
Let's do it.
Go.
Oh, let's go. Oh, pressure's on. Let's do it.
We got an H, people. So you're rally guy. Favorite part about North Carolina?
Ooh, sweet tea and barbecue.
MJ or LeBron?
Oh, that's like the Pele Messi question.
So there's only one right answer.
I mean, I'm definitely biased, so I'm MJ. We'll go with Bank this time.
Oh, okay, all right.
Oh, we got a letter.
Okay, sweet spot then on the court.
Top of the key. Why
Top
not?
of the key, okay. Oh!
Yes.
Whose play would you mirror the most?
Little size difference with Dwayne Wade. He was the reason I started watching the NBA.
Get out of here. What, only 5'6", 5'7" at 16, and now you're pushing 6'7" at 25. What is that like for you?
So being the small guy, I was like the run of the litter growing up. I was always the smallest guy on every team, and then once it started to grow, I would like to say I was more technically sound when I was younger and smaller. And as I kind of grew, I kept the technical part of my game, and then I also realized that I had the physical side. When it comes to the game, it's definitely been a blessing. It's a special tool or trait that not everybody has, obviously.
Killing me.
Needed that.
Being pulled in from that Cincinnati community, what do they do bring to you guys?
Oh man, I've been playing this game since, I don't know, 3 years old. Everybody likes the game, not everybody loves the game, and when you go to Cincinnati, you can tell that there's 40,000 people that love it.
You're roommates with Jimmy. Tell me you've got a good story or two living with him over these last few months.
We've probably seen it on a few goal celebrations, but he's got absolutely no rhythm. He's probably going to hate that I told the world this, but he's when it comes to dancing, this guy's pretty fun to watch.
No, that's short. Ah! Give it to the champ.
That was fun.
That'll do it for us today, Forrest. Thanks for coming along and bearing the heat with us. For now, that'll do it from Tampa.
Where FC Cincinnati and Toronto FC2 are tied at 2 apiece with 45 minutes of soccer in the books and still 45 to come. Let's take a look at the standings. Currently in the USL's Eastern Conference, FC Cincinnati has been in first place 20 of the last 21 weeks. That's not going to change anytime soon. They can inch a little bit closer to that regular season crown with a win this afternoon. 19 wins on the season. You see Red Bulls 2, Nashville, North Carolina FC all battling for that 8th and final spot, and that very well could be the team that plays the Orange and Blue the weekend of October 20th here at Nippert Stadium. 5 games coming up for the Orange and Blue after this one to wrap up the 2018 regular season. 4 of the 5 will be on the road. Back-to-back road games at Penn FC, at Richmond coming up next week, then home September 29th for the regular season home finale, 7:30. A nearly capacity crowd is expected, is what I have been told, so get your tickets now at fccincinnati.com. Then at Pittsburgh and Nashville FC to wrap it up. Rolling through halftime here in the Queen City. When we return, we'll take a look at the highlights. There are plenty of them in the first 45 minutes. That's next. This is FC Cincinnati Soccer. Back at Nippert Stadium, where FC Cincinnati and Toronto FC tied at 2 apiece. A lot of goals in the first half. Tom Glitter and Kevin McCloskey welcome you back inside of the broadcast booth here on the campus of the University of Cincinnati. A back-and-forth battle, Kevin, as Toronto struck first. The Orange and Blue had a couple answers, but then gave up that late disappointing goal.
Yeah, it was a little bit disappointing. Obviously, the moment before when Adi scored that wonder goal, that special goal, to be responded straight away from that Toronto strike from Endo as well. It's disheartening a little bit. I think it's one of those things that Alan certainly saw some good things in the first half, but he's going to go in and he's going to up the ante a little bit at halftime, I think.
Today's first half highlights are delivered by PapaJohns.com. When FC Cincinnati scores twice, you save on pizza the next day, and it was Toronto scoring first today.
What a strike this is by Endo again with his left foot. It's about 5 yards. Looks and sees where Spencer Ritchie is. It's a great strike. You can't take that from him. And ends up starting the game off. And this is a great set piece. Great delivery in. Good header by Forrest Lasso to tie up 1 apiece.
Third goal on the season for Lasso and the USL record-setting assist for Ledesma.
This is just silky skill right here. Tommy just flicking over the defender's head, a little poke into the bottom corner. You're not going to see better goals like that at Nippert Stadium.
Over the boards does Adi go on his second goal for FC Cincinnati since joining the club about a month and a half ago, but then seconds later, Endo finds the brace.
Here's the marksman for Toronto again, this time with his right foot. Endo cuts inside, looks up again. It's not a fantastic strike, but enough to go past and ends up tying it up 2-2 at halftime.
A big goal for Toronto. These two teams tied 3-3 earlier in the season. They are tied at the half here in the Queen City. Both teams out of the dressing room. Lindsay Patterson was with FC Cincinnati. Let's go down to the pitch for the latest.
Yeah, guys, I left the dressing room about 3 minutes ago, and Alan Koch's message was similar to what he told me going in at halftime. The first 45, it wasn't good enough. Football is about effectiveness, and if you want to win, you have to manage the moments. The tempo needs to be up, taking care of the ball in space, getting behind it together as a group. It's not about individual performance. If you want to win the second 45, it's about we.
No doubt about it, Lindsay. Thanks for the update. Let's take a look at the numbers from the first half. The shots about even. 7 for FC Cincinnati, 5 for Toronto. 3 shots on target, 1 save for Toronto. Possession heavily in favor of the orange and blue. The fouls have been about even. We saw the 1 yellow card, by the way. Manu Ledesma got the assist on the Adi goal, so he has 2 assists, now pushing that USL record to 14 assists on the season. And Alan Koch said regardless of the late goal, he wasn't happy with the first 45 minutes. Kevin, how do you want to see the orange and blue look better over the last 45 minutes?
I think, you know, let's not be too critical too. I think there was some good moments for FC Cincinnati. I thought they started well. I thought there was good energy. I think what Alan's referring to, there are times that FC Cincinnati have numbers into the attack and they decide to slow down, which I think for him and for all the fans too, we want to see that tempo increase. I think that's what he's kind of talking about on that. The other things too, you talk about just discipline in defense, and those transitional moments especially. I think FC Cincinnati just have to improve. They have to be clued in and really keep their focus.
A sub for Michael Rabasca at halftime. Malik Johnson comes off, and Jordan Faria, who came off the bench Thursday and played 21 minutes, the 5'6" midfielder, will make his 13th appearance of the season. We just announced the single season record set by Manu Ledesma with his 2 assists tonight. 13th was the record setter, and then extended it with the 2nd assist. Toronto will have the first touch of the second half as the sun continues to set and the shadow stretches across the pitch here at Nippert Stadium. They switch ends. Toronto will attack towards the Bailey for the final 45 minutes. FC Cincinnati in their primary kits working left to right. Ledesma trying to send it to the right to Al-Badawi. It'll end up on the foot of Nazmi. He'll drop it back for Hoyt. Over to Paddy Barrett, who had some great looking passes in the first half. Lasso at midfield. Now back to Barrett with some space on the right. Nearly got it through to Ledesma. Was knocked away by Endo, who's been fantastic. Has the brace in the first half. Ledesma onto the attacking third. Has Corbin Bone streaking in the 18, and his pass was about a step in front of Corbin Bone. Cleared away by Toronto, but then thrown back in by Hoyt. Barrett over to Lasso. Of course, Lasso making his 24th start of the season, 25th appearance. He had the first goal for the orange and blue, his 3rd on the season. Walker forward for Adi, comes off his leg. Fernando doing the work to get back to it and tap it over to Ledesma. Manu into the 18, right at the end line, going far post. Nobody there, but Bone will track it down. Nice run by Corbin. Smith keeping it alive to Lahoud. Bounces off in the direction of Bone, far side. Corbin looking to send it, far post. Off to Adi, a save is made by Patterson Sewell. Wow, Adi nearly had his 2nd.
Great power in that header from Adi. Great delivery actually from Corbin Bone as well, but met with an equal save from Patterson Sewell.
Got his left hand on it at point blank range. Give the veteran goalkeeper credit there for not conceding the lead back to the orange and blue. Lasso up the left side for Bone. He'll bring it into the 18 from the far side. Over to Al-Badawi. Al-Badawi strikes and goes just wide. Let's take another look at the ball to Fernando Adi.
It's a great little dink over, just finding Adi at the back post. And really from that position too, Tommy, it's a hard one. He gets a lot of power, he generates a lot. He's kind of in an awkward position. He wasn't able really to jump all the way through, but good reaction save, like you said, from Patterson Sewell.
And again, two options there for FC Cincinnati, with Adi playing the ball off the header. If somehow it got past him, there was Manu Ledesma waiting, who's a prolific scorer as well.
Just on that last chance from Al-Badawi, you wonder if he can hit the target from that range.
Nazmi scored against Toronto in the matchup back on June 27th. He had the first goal for the orange and blue in the 7th minute.
And we've seen him score, some special goals here at Nippert as well this season.
It was interesting in that game. Nazmi, a goal and an assist. Emery Welshman, a goal and an assist. And Manu Ledesma, a goal and an assist. Gives Manu Ledesma now 3 assists against Toronto this season. Ledesma trying to find Adi across the middle, does not, but Lahud tracks it down.
Connie has a winner photo on.
Lahud trying to get to it in the middle, over to Endo. Ledesma giving chase. Barrett forward for Walker. Back to Lasso. Bone in the midfield. Sees Adi making a run and puts it just past number 9.
Wasn't that far away. Great timing from Adi as well on that run, just in behind. Just playing on the shoulder of Eckenrode.
Spun around him for his goal. Bone in the midfield, back to Lahud. Over to Smith, far touch. 50th minute at Nippert Stadium. Tom Glader, Kevin McCloskey, Lindsey Patterson with you for the second to last regular season home game for FC Cincinnati. Look at the foul in the midfield. We'll give it back to Toronto. Ledesma a little bit aggressive there, knocking over the guy who has 2 goals today for Toronto. Tsubasa Endo, the native of Japan. Smith will head it over to the far touch, and Toronto will throw it in. If you're just joining us, the injury report short for Aaron Powell this week. Talked a little bit in the first half about Richie Ryan recovering, starting to run again. Fatai Lashe picked up a knock in his knee, nothing serious, but missed some training this week, not involved in the 18 tonight. So imagine he'll be back for the 2-match road trip next week, as long as his rehab goes well. But first time since he's joined the club that he has not been involved in the 18. Fatai has played very well since joining the team. 5 starts, 350 minutes, has a goal. And has really helped anchor that midfield. Ledesma forward for Adi. Patterson Sewell comes off his line. It wouldn't have mattered as Adi was offside.
See Adi just pointing into the corner as well. That straight pass, it's very tough to get the width of the straight pass right, especially if the forward's making a straight run. Kind of want to angle either the pass or the run on that.
Mohammed with Ledesma in his face. Manu will slow the run, but Toronto keeps it alive. Endo and Kenny Walker has other plans, coming to take it off his foot, and they're actually going to call a foul about 10 yards behind the play. Advantage was allowed, and then as Campbell had not gotten up to his feet, Toronto will get a free kick. Endo 45 yards away. Serves it to the top of the 18. Glances off the head of Okello. Now Walker clears it out towards the midfield. Ledesma trying to keep it alive. Serbal with Walker sliding in. The near touch, Muhammad. The visitors onto the final third. Toronto in all white. Today, they've never gotten a point here at Nippert Stadium. 2 losses in 2 previous visits. Endo trying to find the hat trick. Didn't get much on that one. Fair to say that's his worst shot of the afternoon. Smith with a ton of space up the left side. Now we'll slow it, drop it back to his former Miami FC teammate Lahoud. Hoyt to Ledesma. Walker trying to get it back, and Manu thought maybe there was a foul, no whistle. Really haven't been many fouls, it feels like, in this match.
No, I think the referee's done a good job. I think it's been pretty.
That one he's going to call.
Sorry, let's rewind that back again. All right, commentators cursed. There's not been any fouls. To be fair, I think it's been an evenly battle game as far as the physicality. He's just a little bit frustrated, just trying to get it back.
Match official encouraged Paddy to bring it down a notch. After that foul, only seen 1 yellow card. That was to Malik Johnson, and it was for delay of game after a foul was called. Walker will be called for the foul there. Put his hip into Muhammad, and actually no, he wasn't. He'd be throwing, so beg your pardon. Desma sends it over in the direction of Lasso. We talked so much about Corbin Bone, all the guys in the midfield that have provided consistency, left back Blake Smith, and it's not by any means to ignore Justin Hoyt over on the right side, who has been so good this year. I mean, think about last year. He was very good for this team, but he's taken it to a whole nother level here in 2018.
I think that just reflects really his presence. I don't want to say you take him for granted, but he's just such a pillar in that back line. And you're right, he's been so consistent.
Now, if he can really just find that first goal, right?
Well, that's what we're hoping for.
Al-Badawi across the box. He had Ledesma crashing in, just missed it at the spot. It was cleared away by Toronto. Hoyt unable to pick up the pass off the back heel of Walker.
I think when you talk about Hoyt, it's just such a professional approach.
Yeah.
The high trains, high plays in games.
When you come up in Arsenal's youth academy, here's a good chance. Hoyt there is offside, and Nazmi Al-Badawi is going to point in the direction of a defender, Boskovic, who certainly seemed to be behind Hoyt when that ball was played forward. And get a couple of confused glances from the fans here at Nippert Stadium. But yeah, professional approach for Justin Hoyt's a great way to put it. Ball glances off the head of Hundle, and Ritchie will come off his line to collect it right at the top of the 18. Talk about Toronto FC too, and how great of a job they've done in scoring goals lately. They're now up to 15 goals scored in the last 5.5 matches. That's why they've been in games. Not a lot of success over that stretch, just 4 points in those 5 games. Al-Badawi with a great run into the middle. Adi's there. Adi is taken down and will not get a penalty.
I think legitimate claims for a penalty. We see this again. There's certainly contact. Adi has body position.
Alan Koch is furious at midfield. We get to take a look.
That's why there's legitimacy in this claim here. He ends up getting a touch. Defender does well. I think he ends up getting a touch on the ball, not Tommy. Very close though.
Adi will play it off his chest just across midfield. Staying right at the edge of the sun there, just off the shade. Could be some tricky passing on the far side of the pitch here late in the game. Cincinnati hasn't played in this time frame at home this season.
It's a big thing even for the fans just on that side.
Everybody's holding a hand just above their eyebrows. Adi is open, and I think Adi is going to be called for a foul, and he's going to get a conversation from the match official. He got tied up with Eckenrode. I saw Eckenrode go down, and then Lauren Varga came running over, and Adi's going to plead his case to no avail. I think actually that Lauren Varga got word from the assistant referee on the near side.
Well, was Eckenrode and Adi just moments before we talked about that claim for a penalty? It's both those players that were kind of battling and tussling for it. Eckenrode's trying to.
Yeah, he's asking
for a yellow card, which you hate to see that from a player.
He just asked what the match official was watching. There may have been another word inserted in there as well.
What are you watching today?
Yes, exactly. Tonight's broadcast of FC Cincinnati is brought to you in part by Sharefax. Barrett's header is won back by Toronto. It's not moments where you can get frustrated here as we approach the 1 hour mark in a 2-2 match. Spencer Ritchie will play it up the near side. Albanawi gives chase, headed out by Toronto. Jimmy McLaughlin was just called inside of the dugout by Alan Koch. He could be the first sub today. I thought he looked very sharp in training.
Yeah.
Talked about the target players and the forwards. All were locked on when we were at training on Friday. Jimmy certainly one of them. See what Alan's thinking on his substitution pattern. Throwing for Hoyt coming in midfield. He'll get it in quickly to Albanawi. Orange and Blue just trying to find some rhythm here in the second half. Had chances, but really haven't had rhythm. Eckenrode has his arms wrapped around Adi, and Fernando Adi, flag went up.
Yeah, I think this time it's an offside, but it's going to be an interesting battle just to watch the remainder of the game and those two, Eckenrode and Adi. It was a fair challenge really from both. What happened, he was in an offside position just before that, came back on the challenge for that ball.
See McLaughlin getting his instructions before heading out to midfield to check in. 60th minute. Toronto and Cincinnati tied up at 2 apiece. Last time, this will be the last time a Toronto's 2 side comes to Nippert Stadium. Next time we see a Toronto team playing here in the Queen City, it'll be a Major League Soccer matchup. A battle in the East. Serbol heads it out on the end line, and Spencer Ritchie will have a goal kick. Plays it short to Lasso. 30 minutes left in a tie ball game. Barrett pushing it forward to the right side. Ledesma.
This is where I think FC Cincinnati have to provide a little bit more support. Not just always the option to drop back. Maybe a through run from Kenny Walker just to get in front. I mean, Nazmi Al-Badawi coming across into the channel as well. Try to create 2v1 situations where they can break that line versus just always playing back in front of Toronto's defense.
Adi receives it at his foot, gets knocked over, shrugs his shoulders. Again, no foul call, more boos here at Nippert. And the frustration continues for the Orange and Blue. Hundel's offside. Nearly was on. Maybe a step.
I'll tell you what, we'll like to see that again, but that's a pretty close call. This is the big thing that we've talked about time and time again. Toronto are a team that do well on the counter. FC Cincinnati have to have good preventative shape, even when they attack.
This is the sub I thought might be the case. Al-Badawi off. Just past the hour mark. McLaughlin on. He's going to go wide where Corbin Bone was playing. Corbin Bone, who played the 10 a lot early in the season, will slide back to that position in the middle.
I think too. Corbin's been, very energetic in tonight's game. I think just getting him underneath Adi, I think is a good thing. I think it's a positive thing. Jimmy obviously is very comfortable playing on that left-hand side. We've seen him play there multiple times this season already. We'll see how that changes now, if it lifts and changes anything in the attack.
Toronto will throw it in right at the edge of their defensive third. Muhammad, I'll tell you this, Lauren Vargas let a lot of physicality go on both sides. Now he's going to call a foul in the midfield. Every time I say it, he calls a foul. Without fail. Bart tries to put it back in place. Sean Hundle stepped right in front of him. This is going to be a yellow card. Yeah, this match is getting chippy. Hundle, the second booking of the match. And it is his second yellow card of the season. He has also picked up a red card here in 2018 for Toronto. Lasso in the direction of Adi. Adi heads it down. Corbin Bone ran right past him. Right idea by Fernando. Walker battling for it. Kenny touches it over to Bone. Bone back into the middle. Kenny Walker sliding, can't connect, but it'll bounce out to McLaughlin. Right at the edge of the 18. Jimmy trying to find some space. He's going to have to retreat. Didn't want to.
Just it didn't fall for him, did it? You know, he wanted to, you could just see with his body language, he wanted to go forward, he wanted to try to penetrate, but ball just wouldn't drop for him.
Lasso got it forward for Adi, then cleared away by Toronto. He also had 3 white jerseys on him. As fast as you can clap your hands. Barrett holding it on his foot. Body will look at the left side in the direction of McLaughlin. I'm sorry, in the direction of Smith. Didn't get there. LaHood able to win it back. He's taken down. And the match official wanted to make sure everybody's okay. Bone up to Adi, right at the edge of the 18. Tried to give it back. Ledesma got it over to McLaughlin into the 18. McLaughlin across the middle. Handball not called. They'll say it came off his shoulder. Lauren Varga
Pointing at his arm, actually, wasn't he?
Yeah, he's pointing at his bicep.
Yeah. Interesting.
Well, we'll have to wait till we can see the replay on that one. Hoyt can't get to it on the near side. Serbel into the middle. Okello. Ledesma tracks it down and gets it back. Mano will go out wide for McLaughlin. He'll chase it towards the corner. Jimmy, great job to keep it alive. Now McLaughlin into the middle, headed away by Toronto. Chipped into the midfield. Lasso's there, no trouble. Over to the right, Hoyt. Now Walker. Cincinnati feeling confident right now on the attack in a 2-2 game.
I think Jimmy's got to run at this defense as well.
That's what he does so well. There you go, partner. McLaughlin trying to cross it, knocked away to the end line. And a corner kick coming for the orange and blue. All right, here's a look at that replay. Was it a handball? Nope. Had his arm against his body. One more try. That's Jimmy chasing the ball down. I thought his arm was against his body on the ball as it came across the middle. Doesn't matter. Corner kick opportunity here. Kenny Walker will take it. 66th minute. Cincinnati and Toronto knotted up at 2 apiece. All the big targets inside of the 6. Plays it short in the direction of LaHood. It's knocked away. And FC Cincinnati will get to throw it in. Not before another sub for Michael Rabaska. And he's going to bring in one of his youngsters, an academy player, Jordan Peruzza. 6'1", 17-year-old. Talked about the difference and how you build your entire franchise from your MLS team to your USL team to your academy team. And this is certainly a point in the season where you got to get some academy guys some minutes and see where do they fit next year. Is it part of the USL team? Is it part of the Major League Soccer team?
That's a great point, Tommy, especially this stage of the season. You know, planning a lot for next year, and like you said, you know, can they handle this? Can they handle the pressure? There's no better test for an MLS2 team to send their young players to Nippert Stadium as well. It's closest thing, really.
Absolutely.
To an MLS test.
Throw in the direction of Bone. He kept it alive on the end line, but wasn't able to find a teammate. Blake Smith chips in the direction of Walker. Now to Smith. Out wide for McLaughlin. Jimmy will send it across in the direction of Adi. Headed away, Boskovic. Adi trying to track it down. Unable to do so. Now Ledesma giving chase. Ball will go to Adi. One back. by Okello, and he gets it out into the midfield. Okello came from behind, then he grabbed the ball. They're going to say it's a foul on Kenny Walker. See, Cincinnati needs to lock in defensively here. Toronto on the attack. To the final third, Blake Smith. Big time play to win it.
It's a really good tackle by Blake Smith too. Timed it perfection. Chance now to go the other way.
McLaughlin working in the sun, far side. Forward for Smith. Blake with the defender on, has nowhere to go. Turns and puts it off the leg of Kubel. He'll throw it in right next to the flag, deep inside of the final third. Smith to McLaughlin. Back to LaHood, and FC Cincinnati asked to retreat. Lasso to Barrett. Potty will push the line forward. Potty 30 yards out. I think he was trying to get it in and just didn't hit it right. Bounces onto the chest to Patterson Sewell. We roll on to the 69th minute here at Nippert Stadium. 2-2. The second meeting this season between these clubs. Okello. Eckenrode out into the midfield. Endo, who has 2 goals tonight, picks it up and pushes forward for the visitors. Across the middle over Serbel. Falls to Muhammad. Into the middle, cleared away. But Desmond Walker were back there defensively. Toronto will throw it in. Tyler Gibson has his jersey top on. He'll be the next sub. Coming into the midfield.
I think about the energy, just the midfielder expanding here, Tommy, too. Going back and forth. FC Cincinnati have, had a decent amount of attacks, but nothing really coming from it. Not much end product. And the flip side of that, anytime they're losing it, Toronto are very quick to attack again, which means those midfielders, Michael LaHood, Kenny Walker, they're having to cover mass amount of distance and space really to try to get back in and defend.
And they'll wait on the corner kick for Gibson to check into the match. Saw him in the continuation on Tuesday. He came on to help close out the 1-0 victory. This will be his 3rd appearance on the season.
This is a guy, too, that's got a ton of talent. Very intelligent player.
And he'll replace Michael LaHood. You mentioned it early. LaHood made that trip to Africa to join Sierra Leone. That's a tough round trip to make when you only get about 2.5 days in Africa and spend about 2 days traveling.
Certainly had a lot of ground to cover today as well. But Tyler Gibson, a player that, obviously fans have not really got to see up close too much. A player that impresses me every week in training.
Endo on the corner kick for Toronto in the meantime. Across the mouth of the goal, headed away by Lasso. Preventative coverage in place for the visitors. Sent back by Kubel. Eckenrode got tied up there inside of the box with Smith. Went down, and a throw in will come far side for Toronto. Suddenly it flipped ends of this field. It was all FC Cincinnati to our right. Now Toronto on the attack to our left. Bone will give chase up the left side. Back heel there by Okello. Throw in for FC Cincinnati. Alan Koch has 1 sub remaining. I think it's going to be Danny Koenig. Gibson to Smith. Now Bone. Feeds it forward for McLaughlin, far touchline. See Cincinnati back to the final third. Now they'll retreat a bit. Barrett. Potty looking in the direction of Hoyt. Misfired. Walker comes to track it down. Taps it into the middle. Chance here in transition for Toronto. One back by the youngster Perusa. Perusa looking to get around Barrett. Potty's all over him and does well. Drop back to Endo. Hoyt. Perusa. Walker with the tackle to win it back. Knocked in the middle of Toronto, keep it alive. Endo hits it and has a hat trick. Tsubasa Endo has 3 goals here on the road and celebrates right in front of FC Cincinnati's bench. He's been fantastic.
Got nothing but space again. Like you said, a great strike for his hat trick. I didn't like the celebration coming over to the bench, but
he counted off his goals right in front of veteran Dekokena.
It's not a wise, it's not a wise thing to do. Well,
Tsubasa Endo.
He's been the difference in the game, Tommy. You've got to kind of take your hat off to that. 3 fantastic strikes, really. I mean, you're not going to get a better hat trick than that in the professional game.
Well, last time FC Cincinnati was at home, it took late match heroics to get a win, and they'll need them again here tonight. A hard foul about 30 yards out will give FC Cincinnati a free kick. See if Walker or Ledesma takes it. Danny Koenig in the meantime has his jersey top on. This might be the last chance for Fernando Adi to get a second. Orange and Blue scored twice against Pittsburgh in the final 10 minutes to get the win 2 weeks ago. Right now, their 17-match unbeaten streak in major jeopardy, trailing 3-2 at home with 16 minutes plus stoppage time remaining. Ledesma's going to take it. Ledesma chipped it forward, was trying to serve it. It was easily cleared by Toronto. Over to McLaughlin, who came on first as a sub. Smith towards the box, headed away by Toronto, and out to Endo, who has acres of land to work with, pushing forward. Endo will be booed on his way towards the Bailey. With Hoyt on him, Endo working on the end line, gets it into the middle, turned away Tyler Gibson, but Toronto keeps it alive. Now a shot will sail wide by Okello as Danny Koenig comes on late for Fernando Adi. Tell you what, we saw Danny Koenig do it plenty last year. Come off the bench, replace GB, and get a goal.
Well, we watched him train, you know, this week as well, Tommy. We both talked about it. He's trained with a little bit of edge.
16th appearance for Danny Koenig on the season. I'm sorry, 24th appearance. He has 10 goals this season. And gives FC Cincinnati fresh legs at the striker position. Right now, Nipper looking for some fireworks to feel the energy again. Koenig trying to track it down. Tonight's broadcast of FC Cincinnati is brought to you in part by UC Health. Koenig pulled down on the end line, won't get the foul called. Lauren Varga's been consistent. He's not going to call those plays. Lasso had made a run, didn't quite get there. Now he'll retreat. Toronto out into the midfield over the head of Serbal. These two teams tied at 3-3 back on June 27th. Ledesma into the middle over the head of Koenig. Falls to McLaughlin. Flag is up.
Just call for the offside. Danny Koenig coming in and being physical. We kind of accustomed and used to that.
More booze rain down. This officiating crew is planning to have dinner reservations. They may want to go out in disguise after the match. Here's a look at the ball in the corner for Danny Koenig. Tell me, is that a foul?
I think the first thing, I mean, they're both tussling for the ball. I don't think there's too much in it, really.
There's a handful of his jersey.
I think they're both kind of guilty of it, though, Tommy. You know, it's one of those things. I think the referee's using good judgment on it. I think the one thing that I was talking about just with Danny Koenig, he's just got to be careful, keep frustrations, because he's a very good player. You can't get too caught up in just the physical battle part of it. He can be the difference in this game.
Corner kick coming for FC Cincinnati as Ledesma's cross is footed away. Manu Ledesma, 2 assists on the night. He won't take it. Kenny Walker races over. FC Cincinnati was hoping coming into this one to get their 20th win on the season, an inch closer to that regular season crown. Toronto trying to play spoiler and end the 17-match undefeated streak. Walker looking for a great service in the 78th minute. Cleveland native will hit it with his right foot. Here it comes. In the direction of Lasso, headed away. Toronto will be there to pick it up. Serbo making the run, will catch up with it in the midfield. He has Endo on the other side if he wants to switch it. Serbo will slow it down. Leave it slowly to the right side. Now played into the middle. Barrett pushes it to the far touch. Desma back defensively. Sends it in the direction of McLaughlin. Back to Hoyt. Walker to McLaughlin. Jimmy picks it back up. Corbin Bone has Danny Koenig in front of him. Leaves it for McLaughlin. McLaughlin into the box. Corbin Bone on his birthday once again scores the goal to tie it. 3-3 in the Queen City. Bone with his 7th goal of the season. Here's a look at it.
Well, Corbin's featured to being again a big threat for FC Cincinnati. What a ball by Jimmy McLaughlin. Look at this little delicate pass in. Great finish again. A good technique by Corbin Bone. Outside of the right foot, puts it into the top bag. Game on, Tommy. Now you've got to understand that FC Cincinnati, we've said this again, can't get too caught up emotionally in this. They've got to continue with the game plan. A lot of time left to get that winner. Just got to make sure that they're understanding their defensive responsibilities and keeping good preventative shape.
That'll fire up the faithful as chants of FCC echo throughout Nippert Stadium. For McLaughlin, his 2nd assist on the season. Bone had the game winner against Louisville City last week. And he has the game tying goal for now in the 79th minute. Serbo trying to set up Toronto to get it back. Here's a chance across the middle, and the youngster Perusa just misses on the ball across the mouth of the goal. Great look there. Jordan Faria set it up, and Perusa wasn't able to finish it.
Would be mad, honestly, if FC Cincinnati for the next 5 minutes just play in long in behind it and don't give Toronto really a chance to shift with this momentum and try to get back in and try to take the lead again. It's one of those things, you talk about managing moments. These are the moments that Alan's talking about.
We saw 2 stoppage time goals in the first half. Fernando Adi's and then Endo's 2nd. There's Walker. Patience pays off as he finds Koenig towards the corner. Danny's taken down again in the corner, won't get the whistle. Out to the midfield it comes. Hoyt and Walker can't get it away from Perusa. Okello into the middle. Serbo slides it to the right. Faria working right to left for Toronto. Attacking inside of the final third. Faria across the middle, and Spencer Ritchie can just go down and scoop it up.
Faria too, though, he's looked very energetic. We talked a lot about Endo. Faria has really been a threat, kind of bombing down that right-hand side for Toronto.
McLaughlin to Hoyt. Justin will drop it back for Walker. Trying to switch it over to the left with Ledesma, didn't get enough of it. Blake Smith giving chase as Faria was there. It'll be a throw-in for the orange and blue. Haven't yet seen tonight's attendance number, but it's expected to be north of 27,000. Long ball in the direction of Koenig. Got his head to it. Then Bone played it forward. Koenig trying to get there, and Caleb Patterson-Sewell comes off his line to scoop it up.
Just sense that Danny wants it so badly, you know. His work rate, his energy is always fantastic.
Hasn't been involved as much the last few weeks.
I think that The big thing here, there's a lot of opportunities, a lot of chances still left in this game, Tommy. I think he can be the difference.
Barrett's going to make a run. Plays it behind McLaughlin. He had to retreat just a hair. Jimmy will wait for some help. Jimmy has it taken off of his foot. Toronto's players dropped there. I think he had his knee buckle awkwardly. That was Tariq
I think
Muhammad.
it's very much an accident on this. You can see just jams
caught,
his
right?
knee. It's a nasty,
Ankle, maybe?
nasty injury.
Let's see what there.
I think it's his knee.
They're going to bring on the medical staff now. Certainly nothing malicious on behalf of Jimmy McLaughlin there.
Just see his foot get caught underneath him.
Muhammad, one of those teenagers I was talking about earlier. 18 years of age, another TFC Academy product. They'll give Alan Koch a moment to talk things over with his players. Same opportunity for Michael Rabaska. Here Alan Koch there, encouraging them to get him up off the pitch and continue play. Right now you'd have to feel FC Cincinnati has the momentum after getting the equalizer, and Alan wants to see his team back on the attack. It is an FC Cincinnati throw-in right there in front of Toronto's bench. Goals tonight for FC Cincinnati. Forrest Lasso in the 31st minute. Fernando Adi in stoppage time of the first half. And Corbin Bone on his birthday in the 79th minute to tie it. Hoyt will throw it in the direction of Walker. One back by Toronto, and then Blake Smith was there to pick it up. Gibson in the midfield. Barrett over to his fellow center back, Forrest Lasso. Lasso forward. Bit heavy, but Ledesma's able to get to it before it finds the end line. Mano in the corner with heavy pressure. Kubel will poke it out, far touch. Throw in for FC Cincinnati, and Michael Rabaska is going to use his final sub of the match. Aiden Daniels will check in, and it'll be his 23rd appearance on the season. 2 goals and 2 assists so far this year for the Canadian. Daniels started and played 69 minutes on Thursday in the draw with Red Bulls 2. He'll come in and replace Matt Serbel. Fans booing a bit as they would like to see Serbel get off the pitch a little bit quicker. Smith readying to throw it in, far touchline. 85th minute at Nippert. We are tied at 3 apiece. Smith will throw it in short to Corbin Bone. Bone looking far post for Koenig and just missed his foot.
Just overhead a little bit. Corbin Bone's being so efficient today as well, just being, I'd say, the most productive attacking player for FC Cincinnati tonight. You say that's fair?
Yeah, I think Manuel Ledesma's been up there with a pair of assists as well. But Bone, a little bit extra pep in his step. Maybe he knows there's birthday cake waiting for him after the match. You think he'll save a piece or two for you and me? You probably already had a piece. Probably snuck a piece at halftime, didn't you? Silence tells me everything I need to know.
My body's a temple. I don't know what you're talking about.
Ledesma forward for Koenig. Has him inside of the 18. Koenig battling. And he is held off by Boskovic just enough to let it roll on to Patterson Sewell. Orange and blue looking for another late game winner here at Nippert Stadium. Nearly had it there.
Couldn't get control, just off of his chest on that.
Right idea. The pass was just a hair heavy for Koenig to be able to control it. Throw in coming for Toronto on the far touch. You know the work rate's going to be high when Danny Koenig comes in. We've seen that since he replaced Fernando Adi, who played really well today. Kubel into the middle. Daniels has it taken away by Walker. Kenny Walker is taken down in the midfield. Are they calling a foul or a throw-in? They're calling a throw-in from the far side. Ledesma works quickly to find Blake Smith. Now he gets it back. Manu coming up the left side. Drops it for Smith, over to Lasso. Bart, right up the middle. Off the head of Kudig. Comes to Ledesma, the edge of the 18. Manu gonna try to cross it in the direction of Bone, goes over his head. Cleared away by Toronto all the way to the midfield. Bart wins it back. Adi right there in the midfield circle. On to Hoyt. Hoyt to Walker. Over to Ledesma. 88th minute, tied at 3. Ledesma across the middle. Corbin Bone heads it in! FC Cincinnati leads 4-3. A brace on his 30th birthday. Corbin Bone has a pair.
Corbin Bone again, just instinctively, right place at the right time. That's a routine finish for him. Great ball in by Ledesma again, just to find him. The two most influential players in attack. Think we can agree on that?
I can absolutely agree on that, partner.
End up being the difference in this game.
It's interesting. That's the second time this season Corbin Bone has scored on a header. The other one was at Ottawa. And he told me after that game, Manuel Ledesma's so good, he got me to score on a header. He did it again tonight.
Yeah.
4-3 FC Cincinnati. You can see Alan Koch barking from his sideline now. Again, manage the moments. A late goal in the 88th minute. Do not concede.
See Tyler Gibson here just trying to organize, getting Ledesma. Don't think he needs to put pressure. Gibson's trying to get them to drop back in, those three attacking players. Get their shape back compact.
There's a ball in the middle to Endo, who has all 3 goals for Toronto.
This is not the guy you want on the ball right now.
Not at all. To Campbell. To the near touch, Mohammed. We were just told 5 minutes of stoppage time. Sorry, FC Cincinnati fans, that's going to feel like an eternity. Bart steps forward and wins the ball. Then does the wise thing and just sends it down the touchline. That'll kill a little clock as we roll to the 90th minute. It has been an action-packed match here at Nippert. Neither side has led by more than a goal. Back and forth throughout this special Sunday matinee. Gibson across midfield was fouled as he hit it.
I don't think we're finished with the dramatics either. Kind of sense it's just 5 minutes is a long time of injury time. Add on to any game.
Endo made it 1-0 in the 24th minute. Lasso answered and tied the match. Adi gave the Orange and Blue a 2-1 lead in stoppage time of the first half. Endo tied it before going into the dressing room. Then Endo gave Toronto FC2 the lead in the 73rd minute at 3-2. Corbin Bone in the 79th minute tied it at 3-3. Corbin Bone gave the Orange and Blue the lead in the 88th minute. And that's where we stand at 4-3. Now into stoppage time. Again, 5 additional minutes tacked on. Corner kick coming here for FC Cincinnati. Manuel Ledesma.
See with that, the setup of the set piece too. Not a lot of FC Cincinnati players going forward.
Lasso is there, but Bard is not.
Most of the players just coming back with good defensive shape. They're keeping 5 players back, at least 4 players back.
Only 4 players are inside of the 18.
The players are just sealing the edge of the penalty area.
Ledesma to the far post, and it's touched. No? Yeah, absolutely. Patterson Stewell selling it well. Had me fooled, but I saw it catch his fingers. And another corner kick. Manuel Ledesma will trot to the far side and will do the exact same thing. You have Koenig and Lasso as the big targets. If he can find one of them, or if he can hook it in, as we've seen him do a few times this year. Yeah. You got Endo just floating out in midfield. Justin Hoyt just recognized that.
That's the guy that you want to keep an eye on.
Now he's going to try to just casually stroll into the middle. Here's the corner kick brought to you by the Levy Law Offices. Bone goes over in case Ledesma wants to play it short. Now it's only Lasso and Koenig inside of the 18. It's going to bounce outside of the penalty area. McLaughlin trying to get around 3 defenders. He does to keep it alive and drops it back to Smith. And Smith's pass is intercepted and won by Daniels. He gets across midfield. Daniels with Ledesma trailing. Manu poked it away, but did so to the end line. A corner kick coming for Toronto.
Manu commits the defensive work. You can highlight all the attacking thrills, goal, set pieces that he's produced, but I'll tell you the biggest thing that he doesn't get credit for is how hard he works defensively.
Endo has 3 goals on the night. Looking for an assist here. Sends the corner kick in. Lasso heads it away. But it comes out to the foot of Campbell. Campbell into the box. Perusa had it. And Bard stepped forward to clear it. Throw in for FC Cincinnati. Justin Hoyt will take it. Right next to Alan Koch. Koch pleading to his team now to stay focused for the final 2 minutes of stoppage time. FC Cincinnati clinging to a 1-goal lead. Hoyt off to the chest of Koenig. Hoyt will send it up the right side. McLaughlin was tied up there with Muhammad. Got shoved in the face. He's hoping for a whistle, won't see it. Sorry, Jim, if it hasn't been called so far, it's not being called now. Patterson Sewell across midfield. Smith heads it back forward for the orange and blue. Knocked out to the far touchline. FC Cincinnati will throw it in. About 60 seconds of stoppage time remaining. Corbin Bone. Goals in the 79th minute and the 88th minute to tie the match and give FC Cincinnati the lead. Ledesma's on as he chases it to the far side of the 18. And they're trying to kill some clock here. Certainly has the footwork to do it. Then he's taken down from behind.
I was going to say that's got to be a foul.
Arias stands over him a bit. Manu is actually going to be fine with that. Commit the foul and then stand over him makes it harder for him to get up. We'll kill a few more seconds.
Yeah. I think Hubel and
Faria there.
I think Faria just both of them pushed a little bit of contact. I'm surprised if FC Cincinnati just try to play this short. Tommy Kiloff in the corner, Corbin Bone and Ledesma with the ball. That's exactly what they do.
Yep. Jimmy McLaughlin just got tossed in the box. Right at the spot. He's going to go nose to nose. Jimmy won't back down. He might not be the biggest guy on the team. Robert Boskovic at 6'3" shoved him across the box at the penalty area.
Did the assistant referee on the side see that?
We'll find out. Danny Koenig stepping in. Well, McLaughlin is 5'8". Boskovic has 7 inches on him, and after he got shoved, Jimmy right back to his feet and in the face of Boskovic. Lauren Vargas says enough is enough. Alan Koch asking for a full-time whistle. There's going to be a few more seconds left on the clock. Bone trying to get into the 18. Toronto looking to set up one more run. Here we go. Daniels up the far side. I don't know that he has time to turn it around. He does, and he didn't have time for it. Full-time whistle at Nippert Stadium, and they are dancing in the Bailey tonight. It's a birthday party for Corbin Bone. The orange and blue come from behind, and Bone scores twice and are out to a 4-3 win. May not have been pretty at times, but with their backs against the wall and the undefeated streak on the line, that guy right there, Corbin Bone, he answered. 18 straight now for his squad. 14-0-4 across that stretch, and 7 straight wins. Lindsey Patterson is with the victorious head coach.
Coach, your guy said earlier in the week it's easy to get up for those Pittsburgh and Louisville matches, but a Toronto match, that shows the real character of your team. Can you talk about the relentlessness from your group?
There's no excuse. Tonight wasn't good enough, to be honest. And Toronto's a good team. You could tell, obviously, Endo played in MLS. He's had a lot of success in MLS, and he scored 3 fantastic goals for them tonight. But from start to finish, our performance and how we managed the game wasn't good enough. We know we're never going to play well every single game, and obviously this is a great streak that we're on, but we wanted to come out today and play well, and we didn't, quite frankly. So I'm happy with the result, but there's a lot of little things that we really need to address. Just managing the game, little moments, and obviously people that understand their game will see things in the last 5 minutes that we just didn't do, and we should have done them. But we'll learn from it. We got the result, and we'll address it and make sure we get ourselves ready for the next one.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
Thank you, Lindsey. Imagine her work is not done. She'll probably try to track down number 19 in orange and blue for a chat. But first, let's take a look at the moment of the match. It's brought to you by Toyota. Let's go places. No surprise here, Kevin, as to what the moment of the match is.
The moment of the match really comes to the player of the game, in my opinion. Corbin Bone, the birthday boy, in the right place at the right time. Not to take away the ability and the talent from Ledesma on that wicked service in, but Corbin Bone had a big performance tonight and ended up being the difference in insurance in this game.
Bone gets the game winner for the second game in a row, and he has 8 goals this season, 10 in orange and blue. Let's find out if there's birthday cake. Lindsey's with Corbin.
I'll ask about that in just a moment. What a birthday present for you. Can you walk us through that second goal?
Yeah, I just found myself in the back post. Mano whipped in a great ball. It teased the goalkeeper. He had to stay and left the space open for me, and I just had to do the easy part and head it in. Easy. 18
undefeated. What does it say about this group?
It's great. I think today, especially, the resilience to come back and win this game is incredible. So yeah, I think it speaks loads for our team right now.
Kevin and Tommy, they've been wondering about 10-15 minutes or so. Do you have some extra cake in the dressing room for them?
Yes, of course. I'll meet you guys down there. We'll all have some cake.
Thanks, Corbin. Go celebrate with your team.
Thanks.
Perfect. Kevin, we are getting cake. FC Cincinnati gets 3 points with their 20th win of 2018. We'll step aside and take a break. Mano Ledesma had 3 assists. How about we take a look at them when we return? FC Cincinnati wins 4-3 here at Nippert Stadium. This is FC Cincinnati Soccer. Back at Nippert Stadium, where the celebrations were aplenty during this Sunday matinee. 4 goals for FC Cincinnati, the hottest team in the USL. Now 7 straight wins for the orange and blue as they salute the large crowd that was here at Nippert Stadium tonight with their 20th win on the season, 18 straight undefeated and 14 wins across those 18 matches. Tom Glitter, Kevin McCloskey back with you as we wrap it up. And it's time now for the Toyota post-match highlights. And this game got started with Toronto jumping on board, the first of 3 from Tsubasa Endo.
A lot of noteworthy highlights definitely in this game. Endo, I think, was player of the game for Toronto, sure. What a strike that was with his left foot to get the game underway with the first goal.
7 minutes later, FC Cincinnati answered with Forrest Lasso.
That's a great delivery again by Ledesma, perfectly weighted pass, and a great header by Forrest Lasso. This is, for me, the goal of the game. Talk about individual skill and talent. He has the hops as well still to get over that board, but that's just class skill.
Grown man goal from Fernando Adi. Made it 2-1. It looked like that was going to be the lead going into the dressing room, but Toronto had a little bit of stoppage time magic as well.
Endo again just cutting in, this time on his right foot. Peakswell comes in, good strike in. Spencer Ritchie unable to get across. Another special moment for that guy.
That made it 2-2. Then Endo, in the second half, found his third, a hat trick, and it was 3-2 Toronto with 17 minutes left. But the orange and blue didn't give up. Jimmy McLaughlin found his old pal, Corbin Bone.
And that's just, I mean, really the pass makes that. Just delicate. Good run by Corbin Bone, a good finish, but for me, Jimmy McLaughlin makes that goal. And then Corbin Bone, man of the match. The right place at the right time. Ends up putting on a really impressive performance.
Bone was fantastic all night long. Scores in the 79th minute and the 88th minute. And as a game winner for the second straight game, you could feel the frustration from Alan Koch in this match. His team didn't play well, but there have been times this year when his team hasn't played well, they found ways to win. Tonight was one of those matches, and it really, as Lindsay alluded to, shows the character of this team.
I think for a fan, Tommy, I think it's one of those games that you're excited by the moments that happen in the game. I think for a coach, it's really frustrating, honestly. It's, you know, there's certain things that happen at certain times. The last 5-10 minutes of the game, just losing possession and allowing Toronto to have another attack. That's something that I think he wants them just to clean up and be a little bit more professional. Roller coaster of a performance, maybe, but talent shows up. That's the difference again in this game, and why they're walking away again with 3 points and an unbelievable unbeaten run.
And that much closer to home field advantage throughout the 2018 playoffs. Once again, our final score from Nippert Stadium: FC Cincinnati 4, Toronto FC 2-3. Our next broadcast of USL Soccer and WSDR comes your way next Saturday when FC Cincinnati will take on Penn FC. For Kevin McCloskey, sideline reporter Lindsay Patterson, our producer David Ashbrook, I'm Tom Glitter saying goodnight. And thanks for tuning in. It's been a thriller here on Sunday afternoon. So long.